Turning now to New York, opening statements have officially begun in the trial against Sean Diddy Combs. The charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering, carry a possible life sentence behind bars. Scripps News national correspondent Alex Miller is live in New York with the latest. And Alex, you've been inside the courtroom. What can you tell us at this hour?
Well, Andrew, trial is expected to wrap up in the next half hour or so. We had opening statements this morning, and then they got right to the witnesses. When we got back this afternoon, they seated this jury, which looks to be 8 men, 4 women. About 3/4 of them are people of color, just to give you an idea of the breakdown. The first witness to testify was Officer Israel Flores. He was the security officer back in 2016 when we saw that now infamous recording of Sean Combs allegedly beating Cassie Ventura in that hotel hallway. We heard from him. We watched the video in its entirety from multiple angles in order to see exactly what unfolded. And as we watch this video, I want to say, by the way, everything we're about to talk about during this live shot could be perceived as disturbing materials. Just want to give our viewers a little bit of a warning here. Watching Sean Combs kick and drag and grab Cassie Ventura by her neck and by her hair over and over again. And then at one point, Cassie walks over to a phone that's in this lobby, lobby area of their 6th floor hotel room, and she calls for this instant services, and a security guard comes up, and at that point he's able to separate them, and he walks them down the hallway towards the hotel room where they were. Cassie apparently telling the security officer that she just wants to leave, and Sean Combs reportedly telling her that she's not going to leave. And when they opened the door to that hotel room, there was another man, according to this officer, sitting in the hotel room. Now, that is something that the defense disputes, since it wasn't in the actual incident report. Now, in the courtroom today, his daughters were there, his mother was there. She kept her glasses on. His daughters looked very uncomfortable as we watched this video over and over again from multiple angles. One of his twins was biting her lip as she was watching some of these actions of her father unfold. He, for his part, was just looking straight at the screen during this. The next witness that we are still hearing from right now is Daniel Phillip. That is the male escort that had multiple interactions with Cassie and Diddy over the course of years. Essentially, he said he was initially called over to meet them at a hotel because he was told he was there for a bachelorette party, and then when he got there, it was just Cassie and Sean Combs. But Sean Combs wore a disguise for the beginning of these interactions. He wore a bandana across his face, a baseball cap on his head, and a white robe. But this escort, Daniel Phillips, said that he was able to identify him very quickly from his voice. And over the course of many interactions, this man said that he was paid somewhere between $700 and $5,000 to $6,000, depending on how many hours he was there, which he said sometimes was as many as 10 hours that he went back and forth with sleeping with Cassie Ventura. Sean Combs watching, directing, and filming during all different parts of this. His daughters were in the courtroom during the beginnings of this conversation. There was a point where they were describing what he was doing in graphic detail, that he was directing Cassie and Daniel Phillip to rub baby oil on each other, and that Combs was masturbating in the corner. When that was disclosed, his children got up and left for a period of time. They did come back, but as soon as more was disclosed, there was a time where they were talking about Combs directing this male escort to urinate on Cassie, that those children got up and left again. And when I left to come here, they were just sitting in the hallway, kind of waiting, it seems like, for that part of the discussion to be over. But one big part of the testimony that we heard so far was the discussion about his firsthand knowledge, firsthand witness account of Cassie Ventura being beaten by Sean Combs during multiple interactions that they had. He said essentially that he would be grabbing Cassie by her hair, dragging her into different rooms, slapping her. He could hear her apologizing and screaming and crying as she begged for him essentially to stop. And then they would come back out and expect that they were going to pick up their escapades. And essentially what happened, the reason that this escort stopped seeing them was that he was unable to continue doing that once he saw the way that Cassie Ventura was treated by Sean Combs. So the whole thing, very disturbing to listen to this in graphic detail. The jurors, for their part, I do want to say, Andrew, kept a pretty strict, strong face during this entire testimony as we were hearing this graphic detail, watching these graphic videos. And at one point, when we were hearing from the security guard talking about the video, he didn't see what happened until he went back and watched it. He had only gotten off the elevator after, the fighting was done. But he was one of the people that he says was bribed by Sean Combs, that he, on the witness stand, put his arm out like this and said Sean Combs handed him a stack of cash with a $100 bill on top to try to get him to make the video go away. Now, now he says he never accepted that money, that he said no thank you, but it just gives you an idea that Sean Combs said to him he was very concerned about any of this information ruining his life with the security guard and with this male escort. He took a photo of his driver's license essentially as collateral to keep him quiet as well, according to this male escort. So we still haven't heard everything from him. There's a cross-examination, and then each side gets their chance back. But we are expecting that whether it's tomorrow or the next day, that we are going to hear from Cassie Ventura herself.
All right, Alex Miller, certainly a lot of ground covered today. Alex, our eyes and ears in the courtroom in this high-profile case. Alex, thank you.